Good afternoon, Order of St. Luke friends and family. My name is Saran Warren, and I am currently the Region 6 Director for the Order of St. Luke, and I have been so for the past 4 years. I've been a convener for 10 years, and I've been an Order of St. Luke member for 14 years. And the reason I wanted to share with you is to share my personal testimony of how I became an Order of St. Luke member. I learned about the Order of St. Luke from my parents, David and Carol Ball, who live in Cleveland, Ohio, and my dad was a convener for years, and they simply would not stop talking about the Order of St. Luke. They sent me brochures about it. They kept inviting me to come to their healing weekends, and I kept saying, "What is the Order of St. Luke? Why do you keep talking about it?" And eventually I gave in, and I got some friends from the church where I was attending in Huntington, Pennsylvania, where my husband was a priest, and we had 2 young boys at the time, and 4 of my friends and I got into the car and we drove 5 hours to Cleveland, Ohio to be a part of a healing weekend where Nigel Mumford was the keynote speaker. I had never been to a healing weekend before, and I was there, but I will admit to you that I was there, but I was not planning on moving from my seat in the church to go forward for any kind of prayer. So when the offer for prayer came Friday night, I stayed in my seat. And it just so happened that Nigel is a floater, which means he moves around and lets the Spirit lead him where he wants to go. And all I remember was very gently him laying his hand on my shoulder. No words spoken, and all I know is I had this huge weight from my shoulders just lift. I had no idea at the time that being a mother of 2 young active boys and a wife as a priest was weighing on me more than I realized, and I just broke down in tears and sobbed, and it really was a breakthrough moment for me. God knew that I was carrying things that I didn't even know I was carrying. So the next time that prayer was offered, I got out of my seat and I went forward on Saturday. Nigel prayed over me, and it wasn't 30 seconds, and I was resting in the Spirit. I didn't want to get up. I was at peace. I could hear everything going on around me. I just didn't want to get up. My friends who I came with were wondering if I was okay, and my one good friend Lonnie said, "You know what, Mary Grace, Saran, she is fine. She is absolutely fine. She's resting in the Spirit." So finally, during the closing Eucharist on Sunday, I went forward to be blessed into the Order of St. Luke. My body just got up and went forward. And to be honest, when I went up, I really didn't know what I was getting blessed into. I just knew that I wanted more of whatever had happened to me. I had experienced the living God in a way that I hadn't before, and I wanted more. So my message to you today is a message of encouragement that if you're a member of the Order of St. Luke, to absolutely develop a chapter in your area so you can meet and pray regularly in small groups and develop trust. If you're not a member, become one. If you're a chapter that only meets once a month, I would encourage you to meet weekly, because the best way to grow the Order of St. Luke, I believe, is to open up these experiences so that we can offer the experience of the living God to people in our churches, in our communities, and in the world, and let God be God and just get out of the way. So I hope that something that I have said to you today will touch your heart and encourage you, because I will tell you, for me, I have learned more tools through the Order of St. Luke in my toolbox that have helped me spiritually, on myself so that I can bless others in my own circle, like the blessing and the binding and separating prayer, like the prayer of blessings, like using Holy Scripture to cut ties of negativity from people's lives. And I tell you that our church congregation, just with the simple offering of having OSL trained prayer teams every Sunday, has touched and changed people's lives on a weekly basis. So I encourage you to offer yourself first as a living sacrifice and surrender yourself to Jesus, and then ask Him what He wants you to do and how to use your gifts, and then gather those people around you, because God will show you the way. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. And I encourage you to just go a little deeper in the order of St. Luke, and I promise you, you will be blessed. Thank you.